Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where we talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about American Born Chinese Season 1, Episode 4. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. I wasn't expecting, first and foremost, for the episode to be mainly 90% the flashback episode that it was, but also the aesthetic they would go for, I think is so interesting, where it's just it's got that 70s style to it with how it's filmed and stuff, and obviously spending a little bit more time in heaven. I think it's so interesting that the Great Sage situation, it's almost like an American Idol type of contest type of situation where I think it's so interesting, but you have people I kept calling the character. I thought it was Mokong. It's Mo Wong and Wukong, where they're kind of outsiders. Specifically, Mo Wong can be there, but not Wukong, because they look down on him. It's you're just a monkey, because he had that whole Wukong had that whole conversation with Wei Chin, where it's right, what were you trying to do? Did you actually think you were doing the right thing? Yeah, you're going to be 200 years, you're going to be grounded for 200 years, and then you're going to start working in stables like I did, but I'm not going to be like you. And that's what the whole thing sent Wukong down this flashback, remembering, and it's kind of the history between him and Moong, which they were best friends, and we see this situation that kind of led them down the different paths that they're on right now, because I think it plays into his monkey nature that he's very yo, I'm me, I'm not going to apologize, I'm going to be me, and I'm never going to change for other people, because I see this BS, this whole way things operate, I see it for what it is. But he's trying to get Wong to be more confident, believe in himself. It's see yourself the way I see you, believe in you like I believe in you. But he's not the most confident, because, and it ends up being a point of contention for Mokong, where it's Mo Wong, I keep messing up the names, because for him it's you want me to be you, and I'm not going to be you. I should have just been myself. But from Wukong's perspective, it's being yourself wouldn't have gotten you in here. I mean, it's yeah, it would have, because the only one that couldn't get in is Wukong, is the one they had issues with. Which, side note, well, I'll go ahead and finish my thought, where it's Mo Wong could have gotten in there and just kind of just stayed subtly in the background, because there is a part of him that wanted to be the great sage, but he just didn't have the confidence to kind of put himself out there. But Wukong is because he hasn't, because that was also the thing. Mo Wong is I didn't want to bring you initially because I knew you were going to embarrass me. You always do, but you're my best friend, and I didn't want to leave you out of this. So I wanted to go to this thing, and of course I'm going to bring my best friend along. But it is just a thing of, yeah, it all didn't work out. Despite all Wukong pushing him, Mo Wong ended up being the one that kind of lost in the end, in so many different regards of the things he wanted to aim for, kind of the dreams and ambitions he had kind of fell to the wayside, and he lost his best friend in the process of right, my best friend ends up becoming a great sage, even though that's what I wanted. He was even trying to line me up to be the great sage, but he kind of snatched it all. Once again, for him, it's yeah, this whole system is BS. It's a popularity contest. This is all lies. You throw a great party, but I see all of you. I see everyone here for the BSers that they really are. Because he even talked about, was it Oh Guang, he's a fish, but he's presenting himself like a dragon, hey, I get to reinvent myself. I'm yeah, I'm a dragon, but he's no, everyone in this party knows he's a fish. We can all tell he looks nothing like a dragon. Yeah, we're all kind of letting him kind of go on with his BS about being the whole dragon in situation. So, because Oh Guang, I guess it's tied to his his fish name. It's, it's tied to him as a fish. Because I don't know if their names have anything to do with the animals they are. Wukong, is always, but that's just part of the Chinese mythos about, him being a monkey and stuff. But I wonder, does Wukong, the name, actually have ties to being a monkey, just like for Mo Wong, his name being associated with being a bull, so maybe his name, Ao Guang, has something to do with a fish and has nothing to do with a dragon. So I also love at the party that Guan Yin is getting celebrated, and she's I appreciate it, but I keep telling you literally every time, stop giving me the award. Please. It's just like, because I guess it's like, yeah, like, you're the best. I don't know if we knew what category she won, but she's like, please stop giving me the award. It's like, you've been giving me this award forever and ever. I don't need it. I appreciate it, but please stop giving it to me. I beg of you. It's just, I love that. I think it also, because it plays into like the compassionate and very humble side of herself, I think. So I also love that bit about Wukong where he will use his hair, and like that guy, like that particular like high official, he just kept drinking the liquor because Wukong kept filling it up. But then later on we see that when he shapeshifts his hair into something, it eventually returns, like it's illusionary magic that eventually disappears. So immediately my brain was like, wait, if that flower he made in the Jade Face's drink, I was like, wait, does that mean Home Dude's got a belly full of Wukong's hair? It's like the implications are there because like the illusions don't last. They always eventually return to their original state, which is like, then you're gonna have like the biggest fur ball in your mouth. It's like, it makes my skin crawl thinking about all that hair he ended up consuming. That's kind of wild. It also seems like, and maybe this is just me, it seemed like the whole Four Scrolls thing and even the Iron Staff, and just because it seems like that was all, and maybe that also has to go with like Wukong becoming the great sage instead of Moang, because he ended up, because he brought up like, oh, you need the Iron Staff, and he was referencing like the scrolls, and he was saying that basically they can manifest themselves as different things, which now I'm like, is that what that piece of glass was from the mirror? Is that what Guan Yin was kind of upset about? Because like they focus a lot on that mirror, and I was like, oh, is there like the bad omen superstition? And like, right, he fused it with the staff. Is that supposed to be one of the scrolls? Because he was like, yeah, it could basically take on the form of anything, which I love the Jade Face being like, wait, so it can be a crab? And it's like, you're missing the point. It was just kind of an example of it could be, they could manifest themselves as anything. Because this is supposed to be like some journey of enlightenment that is kind of like this journey to, I think it said to the west, like to like India or whatever. Or maybe the sutras were like, was referenced in India, but it's like, right, taking this journey out west. Like this whole, it seems like what is kind of Wei Chin's mission seems like it was originally something that Moang had suggested all those years ago. I mean, we didn't get into specifics, but it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, which obviously they're gods, so they live for like long periods of time. Once again, we even learned for last episode that Wukong is like over like 40,000 years old or something like that. So, but like Mo Wong and the Princess Iron Fan seemed like they really hit it off because she was kind of interested in what he had, and even like even ended up helping him get to Algon, which I love, like how cheesy like a lot of it, especially in those regards, like how the special effects, like I said, it's meant to be shot like kind of like a 70s like movie or thing, and just like how she's fanning the, and it's like, oh, the wind's distracting us, and Wukong and Mo Wong are able to kind of slip by. And I love the whole bit about the great sage, the dragon, getting like, you know, he needs to be hydrated. And I love that the people who hydrate him, who are kind of like his servants, like they talk mad crap to him. It's like, oh yeah, we know because of your breath. And he's like, what? The guy was like, nothing. I didn't say anything. And then when Mo Wong tried to like douse him with like some water, it's like, no, that's toilet. That's a toilet you're using that from. I was like, oh God, I love it. That kind of blew up in his face. But like I said, you know, Wukong tried to do it in his mind. He was doing everything for his friend. But it's like, yeah, you ended up kind of distilling the spotlight because everyone, in particular, Alguan, like, really appreciated his candor. And it's like, right, this is all BS, and I've been waiting for this. Because, like, hey, we're growing this peach for like 10,000 years. For what? Just to give it to some fish who's pretending to be a dragon? Like, I see this all for what it really is. And he appreciated the honesty. It's like, because it is that thing of, because you don't want it, because you called it out for its BS, that actually makes you the perfect person for it. You know, because it's that thing of someone who doesn't want power. It's the best person to have in power because they won't be so adamant and so all about going after it, essentially. So, but it is that thing of going back to it that Wukong was so busy trying to like change his friend. It's like, yeah, I get it. You want your friend to have more confidence, but it is a thing of you think you figured you had all the answers. And I think you had the best of intentions, but it kind of got lost along the way. What you ended up getting accomplished and what you wanted for your friend versus what he wanted and what he expected of the situation, it blew up in his face. Like those two conflicting elements ended up bumping heads, and that ended up kind of destroying that friendship, sadly. And now that's why they are on the opposite sides. And I think he sees history repeating itself now, present day. And that's why he told Wei Chin, like, no, you should go back. If there's someone you believe you can trust to go, because it's like, I think that's probably one of the mistakes he looks back on life of like, right, I don't want to make that mistake again with my own son, where he has animosity towards me like Mo Wong does. So I always think I'm doing what's best for someone, but it is the thing of, yes, I have thousands and thousands of years of wisdom on me now. I'm not the same immature person I was, because him and Guan Yin had that whole conversation about who he used to be. And we see that he's not the same person he once was. His son has a little bit of that in him, but it's like, right, he probably sees a little bit of himself in his son, but he also probably sees like that side of like, Mo Wong, like he sees a little bit of like, there's a similar spirit in that capacity. And it's like, right, I kind of screwed the pooch on that situation, so I don't want to make that mistake again. I'm going to let you be yourself. Instead of trying to like force who I think you should be on you, I should let you be you and follow, because everyone has their own path. Because even he recognizes me forcing me one. Yes, I believed in Mo Wong, but if I really did, I would have let him be himself instead of trying to change him to be more like me, to be more confident like me. I should have let him like stay on his own path instead of like hijacking it the way I did. Maybe this was my path, maybe it wasn't, but I think a lot of that stayed with him, and like I said, he just doesn't want history repeating itself. So he ends up sending Wei Chin back, which I thought was kind of an interesting development. When he walks up to Jin, he's like, yo, I've only been going a day. It's like, no, you haven't been going a day, dude. It's been a month. It's like, interesting. So that means like, if he's still here on Earth, which I assume he is, still looking for the fourth scroll, we don't know if he's made any development on that front, because he knows about the fourth scroll and he has his staff, but he doesn't know about the dream that Wei Chin had about the person who could lead him to the scroll. So he doesn't know about Jin. So he hasn't come after Jin in that month's time, which is interesting to think about, right? So are we going to catch up in that month's time? Like, what's changed in Jin's life in that time frame? I just thought that was kind of an interesting development, especially because, hey, after everything that went down last episode, he came back to school. He's super popular. And even Amelia's asking, like, oh, how'd you do it? And he turns and sees that, like, Wei Chin is in there. And like I said, it's just like Wei Chin's gone. So what's kind of happened in that time frame of, like, now you're like, oh, Mo Wong has had a month to search for the scroll. Once again, he didn't have Jin to kind of be the guide that Wei Chin believes him to be. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see where all this ends up taking us going forward into the next episode. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.